So today I'm going to show you my music player. As you can see, as soon as it loads up, it will display all of the album artworks and its information. And you can page through the sheets as well. In this case, there's two. And you can also select on a particular album and you can play any song that you want. You can pause, you can play, you can go next, you can go back, you can shuffle. And what you can do as well is you can add it onto a playlist, which is this one here. So say I want to add that currently playing song to a playlist one. So yeah, so that particular song will be added to playlist one. And if we go to this button here, it will take us through all the playlists that we have. Same principle, we can page through it. And as you can see here, Champagne Supernova is in playlist one. So while a song is playing, we can do all other things, as you can see here. We can go to other albums, we can do whatever we want. But if we want to go back to that song, then we can just press this button and it will take us back to that. So I will talk more about the playlist. What we can do as well with the playlist is we can create more as a user. So the user can just press this and we will create more as much as we want. And you can also remove a playlist or delete a playlist. Just press on that and you can just select which playlist you want to delete. As simple as that. So let's say I want to delete this playlist one. Yeah, it will get deleted. And when you press onto it, when you're inside a playlist, you can also add playlist there. So I say I want to add playlist, and it will prompt us just like a song to add from home. So we can go back to the albums and we can select anything. Say I want Enchanted, then yes, Enchanted is added to the playlist too, which is what we want. We can also remove. So I can remove from the playlist. Say I want to remove Very Good, then that's it. Very Good is removed. And that is all about my music player. There's a couple of problems that I definitely encountered. The first one was when I extend the feature of playlists, it was at first, it was being modeled from album. It take the set of data of an album. So if we take a look at the code here, let me just show you. So as you can see, when I create playlists, it is exactly like how I create album. And I also, what I created here is an album record because it has ID, it has genre, it has artist, it has the same set of data. But so the problem was when I press on the playlist that I want to select. At first, say I want to select this one, what appear is not the track of that playlist, but what appear is the track of the album that was in the same position. So this one. So so I use functional decomposition in this case to break down the problem. So what was this problem? There was a lot of it gets smaller, actually gets smaller. The problem actually gets smaller and smaller. And I find out that the problem is that this variable that you see here, like current album, selected album, or selected track, what I assigned to them was the index. the index of the selected. So I didn't assign the actual, say if it's a selected album, I didn't assign the actual album, but I just assigned the index. So I fixed that up and I changed that to actually in here, selected album, I actually assigned the album this time, and selected track, I actually assigned the track. And that resolved the problem, because then the computer doesn't get confused whether it is from the album's array or the playlist array. So and it actually fixed a lot of other problem as well, which was not my first intention. Another problem that I encountered was in the beginning. So this was a draft. This is a draft. So this was the previous version of my code. When I draw the album, so I draw the album in here in this function. I draw the album, and so I need the x and the x. I need the top left position, the top right position. So I just record all of the position here, and use that to draw into the screen. But when I create another function, select album, to determine whether a user has selected on the album, because this is entirely from GUI. So I need that information again. So what I did in the beginning was that I copy the whole thing into the function again, just to check. So that is very, very not efficient, and it cost me a lot of space in here. So the solution was that to actually embed it into the album itself. So I ended up embedding its position on screen as its attribute. And it's not just for album. It actually works as well for button or for options. So every time that I draw it into the screen, every time that it is drawn on screen, it will record the left, top, right, and bottom position. So it makes it much, much easier to later on when I need to clarify whether they have been clicked or not, I just need to pass through the image parameter, and it is as easy as that. I just need to pass through the image parameter, and I would straight away be able to get those left, top, right, and bottom. And this actually also enable a code modularization, because they all have a code modularization for buttons and or for options and for other things that needs whose left, right, top, and bottom needs to be recorded. So it enables this selecting. So it enables me to modularize select from. So if you see before this select album, there is a select track, there is a select button. And I did this in the beginning because they all have different XY. So I thought it was kind of impossible to, pass this XY as a parameter. It would be too long of a parameter. That's why I do it separately. But because I change the parameter because I make it an attribute, I was able to just pass the image, or but yeah, it is possible for code modularization. Yeah. Another problem that I encountered was in the update here. So there is a part of code. It's a part of code. Yeah, this part of code. It's the function of this part of code is to play the next song when a song is finished. But the problem was this was not there in the beginning. So it was just play track and that's it. And when I play track, when I call the function play track, it will assign the current album to the playing album. And so every time play track is called, it will assign the current album to the playing album and the current track to the playing track, which makes sense. But the problem was, the thing is that this time the play track is called while I could be in a different album, which means that the current album could be the album that is not currently playing. So I have to, and it is okay because I don't really use the current album. I only use the current track variable, but it actually is a problem because I display the console as playing track from which album. So in that case, this one is going to show the album that you're currently on, not the album that is currently playing. So the solution to this was to record before I play the track. I will record the playing album, and then when the play track is called, I will change that. I will change the playing album to the variable that I recorded before, to the value that I recorded in the playing album before. And that works. So that's a little bit about my program. More details should be in the design report. And thank you for listening.